Tonight, the president selling his wall as a way to stop the flow of illegal drugs. Tweeting in part, put an end to stoppable crime and drugs, border security and wall, no doubt. Well, that's not really the view from the border. In just the past month alone, 3 new tunnels for drug smuggling have been discovered in just one border town. And tonight, for the first time, we're going to take you inside for a look at what is really happening underground. Ed Lavandera is out front.
Leave behind the streets of Nogales, Mexico, and take a journey into a world where border security is fought in the darkness underground. This is the labyrinth of tunnels and the drainage system underneath the city of Nogales, Mexico, that is often used by drug smugglers and human smugglers to get people and drugs into the United States. Local police guide us through the rivers of raw sewage, and even down here, the international borderline is painted on the ceiling. This wall is actually the international borderline, and this black patch that you see is actually an old tunnel that was used by smugglers. And Mexican authorities have sealed it off, but this is what it looks like underground here. In the last month, Mexican authorities have discovered 3 new tunnels in this border city, all designed to reach underneath the border wall that already exists here and pop up north of the border. The most recent tunnel discovered here in Nogales actually emptied out into this area you see behind me, but it actually started deeper inside the city, about 3/4 of a mile away from where we're standing right now.
There were 2 drug tunnels right here.
Sheriff Tony Estrada and his lieutenant Jerry Castillo have spent decades patrolling the borderlands of Santa Cruz County in Arizona, and they've seen organized crime cartels adapt to every new evolution of border security.
We have the world's record as far as tunnels are concerned.
More than 100 tunnels have been discovered in Nogales since 1995.
No buffer zones, there's opportunity. It's very practical for them. The more difficult you make it for them, the more creative they're going to be.
Right. That's a lot of tunnels.
That is a lot of tunnels, and at some point you wonder if it's going to be a huge sinkhole on this side of the border.
As the Trump administration pushes to expand the existing border walls, border authorities predict this will force cartels to expand their underground operations.
When we're talking about tunnels, it's linked to the dynamics and economics of the drug trade. We're going to continue to see drug traffickers using tunnels, corruption, drones, catapults, anything else to get contraband across that border as long as there's that money to be made there.
Lieutenant Jerry Castillo says detecting tunnel construction is incredibly difficult. The cartels have become masters at tunneling. So you can be looking into Mexico
and never know
that someone's building a tunnel right under your feet.
Yes.
2 years ago, Border Patrol Operations Officer Lance Lenoir took us inside a border tunnel in California. He's part of a team known as the Tunnel Rats.
Is it by hand, like shovels?
Yeah, it's basically almost exclusively by hand with power tools.
Hundreds of miles away in a New York courtroom in the trial of El Chapo Guzman, the drug kingpin's former lieutenants have detailed how vast amounts of cocaine and weapons have been smuggled through tunnels, but that there's always more than one way to get through a border wall. Lieutenant Jerry Castillo says a wall alone won't stop it.
It's a cat and mouse game. It's, we would think that we were on top of the game, and all of a sudden something else popped up.
It never ends.
It never ends.
And Aaron, Immigration and Customs Enforcement here in the United States says more than 203 tunnels have been discovered along the southwest border since 1990. More of that is expected. And what every border official that we talk to here along the southwest border really talks about is this idea of how these criminal organizations adapt to whatever changes are made on the U.S. side of the border. So as more border security is expected to be deployed down here to the southwest border region, they're expecting these cartels to adapt accordingly. Aaron?
Right, Ed, thank you very much. Incredible, because it's where these visuals matter so much. Out front now, Juliette Kayyem, former Assistant Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security under President Obama. So, Juliette, I just want to show again the footage. It's incredible footage, right? Ed has found these the growing labyrinth of tunnels, 3 new ones in just the past month, right? Taking us in here for the first time. Obviously, we know tunnels are a problem, but we're talking about 3 new ones in just the past month in one place.
That's exactly right. It's an amazing story. And remember, Nogales has some wall, right? Parts of it are actually covered by wall, suggesting that even if we built the wall, there is still going to be this, adaptability. And so I think what it shows specifically is that America's law, sort of border enforcement policies, have almost no relation to the magnet that draws people and drugs and other things to the United States. And we've seen that consistently over the last 50 or 60 years. The harsher we get on immigration, it really does not impact if people come or go. And to quote, the former Secretary of Homeland Security, John Kelly, the problem with our border and illegal activity coming across it starts 3,000 miles south of here. And so these images are just proof, not only if you build a 50-foot wall, you'll find a tunnel or a 51-foot ladder, but that the challenge of border enforcement is really, how do you do secure flow? How do you let the good things in and keep the bad things out?
And Julia, one of the things that Ed was showing, right, was just how deep they are, right? He was talking to the county sheriff, saying you would never know. You could be on top of a tunnel in a house and you would not know because they are that deep. That is how easily they can adapt.
That's exactly right. And so what do you want against an adaptable enemy? So let's say the drug traders, right? Because I'm not denying that there's problems at the border. Yeah. What do you want against an adaptable enemy? You don't want a stationary thing. And so one of the crazy aspects of this shutdown is we have a wall. It's called the Coast Guard. It's called CBP. It's called TSA. We have people that are adapting to the enemy, and instead they're not getting paid and they're not showing up for work. And we're spending all of our time for a wall that is not going to adapt to the challenges of illegal activity, which Democrats and Republicans all agree we need to stop.
Right. Certainly, no one can dispute it's happening. It's how to stop it. All right, Juliette, thank you.